After giving blood and sweat for $32, Warren Sapp gives CU athletes ultimatum as Shadur Sanders suffers $5.4 million loss. It's not every day you hear a Hall of Famer drop real talk like he's still in the trenches. That's Warren Sapp for you. Raw, blunt, and he's not here for any nil-era pity parties. Because just imagine grinding every day, putting your body through terror at the U, and all you gotta show it on the weekend is a crisp $32 check. That was his reality. Unreal, right? But that was about 3 decades ago. Now fast forward to 2025, CU athletes are stacking in 6 and 7 figures in nil deals. So yes, Sapp's message serves as an ultimatum, especially after former CU QB Shadur Sanders' unexpected draft saga. In an episode with Howard Eskin on Creative Outfit, Inc., Warren Sapp got real on the dollar talk. The former Miami Beast reminisced about grinding for $32 a weekend while putting his body on the line in college. We come from an era where it's $3.35 an hour. I got $32 a weekend to do that work I put out at the University of Miami. He laughed with disbelief still ringing in his voice. But on a more serious note, the Buffs pass rush coordinator added, "So listen, we're talking about a whole another era right now, so you would need somebody to be intense, because once you come out of 18 to 22-year-old, the real world is not about to suffer you out." This isn't whining, it's a warning. Earlier in the episode, Warren Sapp also highlighted how different the pro league has changed from his time regarding the bag. He was making just $6.6 million at the peak of his 13-year NFL career. Today, DL Aaron Donald is making $30 million for the same position he played from 1995 to 2007. But he added a classic line. "I wasn't 6 times the player that Joe Green was, and he only made $1 million and I made 6. So, it's all relative, you know." But he's also laying down a challenge for this generation. You need to have some real conversation with these young men, and we're having them, Warren Sapp added. So hey, it's an everyday grind, and each one of them's different, and that's a lovely situation I'm in. But the message is loud and clear. If you're getting paid like kings, work like warriors. Show that intensity. Show that you're worth every penny they pay. Because Shadur Sanders just caught a hard reminder that not all hyped college stars cash out big in the draft. How Shadur Sanders lost $5.4 million by joining the NFL. Maybe Shadur Sanders' draft slide has nothing to do with talent. The 23-year-old is undeniably talented with the football. 74% completion rate for 4,134 yards and 37 TDs. That's not a small feat still. He fell to the 5th round at number 144 and signed a 4-year deal of $4.6 million with the Cleveland Browns, expected to earn $1.15 million each year. It doesn't sound that bad until you realize he had a $6.5 million nil valuation in his final season at Colorado. If you do the math, that's a $5.4 million loss. And it's giving serious Quinn Ewers vibes. Remember the Texas QB with a $4.5 million nil bag and ended up at the 231st pick to Miami? Word is that Notre Dame reportedly had $8 million on the table for him if he transferred and returned to college. Instead, he made that jump that saw his financial situation take a hit with a projected $4.3 million rookie deal. But for both the QBs, this isn't their final fate. As former Heisman Trophy winner Cam Newton said, "Earn the right to make it to your next contract, and that's where you can have the real comfort." But unlike Ewers, Shadur Sanders was expected to go high, which is why the fall hurts more. And if one thing's clear, Cleveland got a steal. So what's the play here? As Warren Sapp would say, welcome to the real world. Now it's about staying power. Now, Shadur Sanders got to bring that Sapp-like attitude because it's grind season all over again. HBCU coach sends strong message to Deion Sanders for not giving up despite unwarranted media hate. You know how spring football talk can get. You throw out an idea, stir the pot a little, and the next thing you know, the NCAA smacks it down just when it begins to simmer. That's what happened when a certain ACCHC and Deion Sanders cooked up something bold in March, a joint spring practice between their squads. "We all locked in. Me and Coach Prime are excited," he said. But the NCAA iced it just like that. And this is where the HBCU narrative creeps in. You might have already guessed it. But Fran Brown was none too pleased with the NCAA decision. Was it because he and Deion Sanders came from HBCUs, coaching rising programs like Syracuse and Colorado? The following month, he took a sly jab on social media, saying, "We should have just told Coach Belichick and Bill O'Brien to come up with it. Well, they weren't about to allow Coach Prime and Fran Brown to be the first two guys to do it." Then he added a disclaimer. "I'm just messing with you, NCAA. Don't get all mad, call my AD and try to find me. I'm literally joking." But the frustration was felt. After this episode, Fran Brown's relationship with Deion Sanders only deepened. And now it brings us to a different stage where he joined 2022 NFF Hall of Famer LeVar Arrington in a new episode on NFF On Demand on May 21st. During their conversation on leadership, the host said, "One thing that I had to learn in my adulthood is being the best leader I can possibly be is knowing that being that way, if I truly feel that way about you, I'm going to let you know." Then he added, "I tell my teammates when I talk to them, when we get off the phone, and I can tell even sometimes it catch them off guard like 'love you, bro,' and they probably mag feel it and they think it, but it's okay to show somebody that it's okay to express the emotion and let you know like, bro, we know we love each other." And of course, this instantly reminded Brown of somebody. You know who's the absolute best at doing that? He asked and replied to himself, "Prime. Love that he's really good at that. Really makes sure it's real," Fran Brown added. "Because I got a chance to talk to him and get to know him over these last couple years when I heard prime time." Even Arrington backed it up, saying he means it. If he respects what you're doing, if he likes something about what you do, he's definitely going to let you. He don't have no problem letting you know. And that emotional honesty is why Deion Sanders and Brown connect. Their bond started years back when Fran Brown was recruiting Shiloh Sanders at Baylor. Since then, it's been mutual respect. And no matter the reception he gets, Deion Sanders is always confident and comfortable, something which has grown into the Orange HC since both come from HBCU programs. Before coming to Boulder, Coach Prime coached at Jackson State from 2020 to 2022, while Brown coached HBCU School Temple for 6 years, serving different roles. Deion Sanders is only the second black coach in CFB history to leave a HC job at an HBCU for an FBS school with the same role. No one is blind to the bias. Still, no negativity drags the third-year Buffs HC down. Deion Sanders' fight is bigger than football. Deion Sanders isn't just trying to turn around Colorado. He's trying to turn around narratives. "I'm a people guy. I don't see a tremendous wrong," he said. "I see where I can make this right. I reiterate that God always sends me to turbulent situations, turbulent people, turbulent neighborhoods, so that I could bring peace and serenity and joy, love and unity. And that's what I've always done, even in my own career." And that's not just talk. He made JSU a national headline with 2 SWAC titles with a 27-6 record. Even in Boulder, he revived a 1-11 program to a 4-8 season before leading the Buffs to a bowl season with a 9-4 record in 2024. But every step came with criticism. His recruiting approach, his flashy style, even his son's unexpected draft slide. It's always something. Still, he remains unfazed. "My Bible says God uses the foolish things to confound the wise, and he chose the weak things of the world that he may put to shame the strong," he posted. Please know God ain't done and God is just really getting started. Enjoy this lesson and stop stressing. The hate and the pushback never end. But Deion Sanders doesn't flinch. And neither do the ones who believe in him.